puede tener una chocolatería sin vender chocolate. Y no se puede vender chocolate sin una chocolatería.
Prohibido soñar despierto.
¿Qué vamos a hacer, Willy?
Since Willy Wonka in the novel is the side character, it has this mystery around him. Was it difficult to make him the protagonist, the star, and build upon him on the center?
What's great about Willy Wonka from the materials we have from Roald Dahl is he's the only character Roald Dahl ever wrote a sequel to, and as well as that, he sort of tried some other short stories and little ideas around it. And I was lucky enough to spend some time in the Roald Dahl archive, and they very generously guided me towards all the Willy Wonka materials. And it was clearly a character that stuck in Roald Dahl's mind and that he was interested in exploring in other ways. And in Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, Grandpa Joe tells various stories about his early life. And he's always this great chocolate maker in them, but there's a sort of sense of a world around him. You're not quite sure how true they are. You know, that they sort of have a sense of the impossible about him. But of course, the great thing about Willy Wonka is you tell impossible stories about him and they turn out to be true. So I felt that there was license to kind of dig into his past from the materials that Roald Dahl wrote. And it's really exciting to explore who he might have been before he retreated behind the walls of the chocolate factory and before he became this great mysterious character back when he was young and first setting out into the world.
Is that young energy why this Willy Wonka hasn't this mischievous part, that part where he wants to punish the kids when the chocolate factory,
Yes. Well, I never really saw him as a sort of active punisher. I think he sort of gives them enough rope and they sort of they take care of themselves because they're so ghastly and greedy and they just are utterly intolerable. But certainly he's there's a kind of there's a sort of steel core to him in a way that you go, he's not a sort of soft, fluffy character. Obviously, our Willy Wonka, it's 25 years earlier, and he's just embarking in the world. And I was interested in seeing how some of those characteristics came about, really. And so I was interested in sort of taking a character who's quite wide-eyed and naive, and he comes to this great city of artisan cake makers and chocolate makers, and he thinks that all you have to do is work hard and be talented and the world will greet you with open arms. But of course he discovers it's not quite that straightforward because this is a Roald Dahl universe and the world is full of pretty gruesome people.
Yeah, the chocolate cartel is really, really amazing.
Oh, good. Yes, they're fantastic. Such brilliant performers.
How do you manage to escape this cynicism that we are surrounded almost every day in the real world and make your movies such a happy place, but also with that point of
Well, I think that's sort of the great trick of Roald Dahl is that he fills his books with the most appalling humans, but at the heart of them there's a real beautiful emotional truth and an optimism that the good people can overcome, and the baddies are always so much fun and they're so funny that it's a joy to spend time with them even though they're utterly appalling.
Yeah. What aspect of Timothée Chalamet's Willy Wonka do you think makes him different from the previous iterations of the character, or how did you direct him or to make his own character?
Well, I think because our Willy Wonka is set. He's a much younger character than the character we saw in the Chocolate Factory. It's set 25 years before those events, and the great thing about Timothy is he's sort of able to access seemingly these great depths of human emotion in a very relatable way, at the same time as being incredibly funny, and it's a really rare gift. And I think because the Willy Wonka that you see in the Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, he's a sort of an unknown sort of almost Wizard of Oz character where you're not quite sure what he's up to. He's at the heart of our movie, so he really has to carry the emotional story and the heart of the movie.
Yeah.
And that's what Timothy's able to do at the same time as being funny and eccentric and slightly unknowable and slightly mysterious. And how he kept all those plates spinning is a mystery to me. You'd have to ask him, he's a genius.
No, he's really great and he carries the movie so good.
Oh, good.
Yeah. I wanted to ask you about the songs because they are absolutely great, and I kept thinking all the way through the movie, you must have fantasize about this going to the West End or Broadway because they are made for it,
Well,
aren't they?
yeah, I mean, the 71 movie, the sort of original Gene Wilder movie had these great iconic songs, especially Pure Imagination and Oompa Loompa, and they were great fun to play with. But we also have some original songs in it written by Neil Hannon from the Divine Comedy, who's a great songwriter and who was able to kind of access that tradition. We were always asking ourselves, what would that team have done had they been tasked with making a kind of young Willy Wonka movie? And it was a great kind of guiding light for us all the way, just to sort of what would they have done? And because we really want this movie to stand alongside that movie as a sort of companion piece. And that was the challenge. And Neil's able to write these songs which feel contemporary, but somehow timeless. And it was a joy working with him.
Podría cambiarle la vida, señor Wonka. Cambiarle la vida a todos.
Todas las cosas buenas de este mundo empezaron con un sueño.